Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 16th episode of Willpower. I am your host, Carlos Brown.
Every hour upon the hour, me seek power. Every hour upon the hour, me devour. Every hour upon the hour, rise like a tower. That a willpower, that a willpower, that a willpower, willpower. That a willpower, that a willpower, that a willpower.
The Great Realization is now available on Amazon, a transformative guide to personal growth, resilience, and mastering life's challenges with wisdom and strength. In this powerful book, Carlos shares profound lessons on overcoming the victim mentality and cultivating self-respect, navigating relationships and handling rejection with grace, setting boundaries, making sacrifices, and embracing change to achieve lasting success. Addressing universal themes like guarding your heart, managing betrayal, fostering integrity, and pushing beyond personal limits, The Great Realization equips readers with actionable tools for positive transformation. Whether you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or uncertain, this book reminds you that life's challenges don't define you. Your response does. It's a must-read for anyone ready to reclaim control and create the life they deserve.
Remember to get my book, The Great Realization, by yours truly, Carlos Brown. This book will inspire and improve your life. This book is a life changer. The Great Realization by Carlos Brown, now available on Amazon, paperback format and ebook format. Or you can, to get the audiobook version, you can call 876-344-4084. Again, that's 876-344-4084. Today, my friends, brothers and sisters, I just want to remind you, if you don't need a reminder, sound great. Yeah? My black brothers and my black sisters, we're great, we're powerful. Yeah? Us as black people need to unite. Once we unite, we're unstoppable. Our history did not started at slavery. No. Our history did not started at slavery. Yeah? History never started at slavery. We were kings and queens before slavery. We ruled, we had many empires. Yeah, there were many empires, more than one, in Africa. But the colonizers came with guns. So their weapon was more powerful than what we had at the time. We never have no gun. But them come with gun. Stick up your empire. Though. And say, yo, give me 2 slaves. You understand? And so on and so forth. And we were conquered as a people. But watch this video.
What if I told you the version of history we have been taught is incomplete? What if the lands we often see only in stories of struggle were once home to kings, queens, scholars, and empires that rivaled and even surpassed the greatest powers of the world? Africa is not just a land of poverty or conflict. It's a land of origin, of innovation, and of legacy. Before colonizers set foot on its shores, before the transatlantic slave trade tore through its heart, there was life here, there was power, there was civilization. And today, we tell that story. For far too long, Africa has been portrayed as a continent without history, as if it began only with slavery and colonialism. But that narrative is false. Africa's history is vast, rich, and powerful, yet many know more about Europe, Asia, and the Americas. It's time we change that. Some of the greatest civilizations in the world history thrived here on African soil. In the 1500s and earlier, African societies were vibrant, organized, and connected to global trading networks, even engaging in transoceanic travel. They traded gold, salt, textiles, and knowledge. Yes, knowledge. As an African proverb reminds us, until the lion learns to write, every story will glorify the hunter. Well, here is the lion's story. The Mali Empire, founded by King Sundiata Keita, was one of the richest civilizations in West Africa. It had strong systems of law and order, advanced agriculture, booming mining industries, and the largest library in Africa. And of course, it was home to Mansa Musa, the richest man in recorded history. At its peak, Mali supplied nearly half of the world's gold and held over 1 million manuscripts, proving that academia on the continent didn't begin with colonialism. It was born here. Further east, in what is now modern-day Sudan, was the Kingdom of Kush, part of ancient Nubia. Sophisticated, cosmopolitan, strategic, Nubia was a major hub for trade between Africa, the Arabian Desert, and the Mediterranean world. Some say the word Nubia comes from Nu, the ancient Egyptian word for gold. Before Mali, there was Ouagadougou Empire, also known as the Kingdom of Ghana. It sat on the trans-Saharan trade route, linking African interior societies to Mediterranean markets. They were especially known for trading gold and kola nuts. Kola nuts would later be used as a secret ingredient in the making of Coca-Cola. In the 13th century, the Kingdom of Ghana was absorbed into the rising of the Mali Empire, but its legacy endures. In the north, the Almohad Empire, a powerful Moorish dynasty, ruled much of North Africa and even extended into southern Spain. They were builders, philosophers, warriors, influencing art, science, and religion across 2 continents. Now, let's head over to Benin, founded by the Edo-speaking people. The word Benin came from Portuguese, means pronunciation of Ubeni, a term meaning land of bitterness. Benin had started as clusters of hunter-gatherer villages, but by the 1300s, it was a bustling center for trade and incredible art. The Benin bronzes, masterpieces made of brass, bronze, and copper, are world-renowned today. Unfortunately, many were looted during the British expedition in 1897. Over 6,000 pieces stolen, some now sold for millions. One alone fetched $13.5 million in 2015. But there's more. In the 11th century, Benin built a 16,000-kilometer long wall, the largest man-made structure on earth at that time. Patrolled by royal horsemen, it was a symbol of might and order. The next time someone asks you about African history, tell them about Mali, tell them about Kush, Ghana, Almohad, and Benin. Because Africa's story did not begin with colonization. It began with kings, scholars, artists, empires, and legacy. This is just a glimpse of what was and what still can be. Africa is not history waiting to be written. It's a history that has been buried, waiting to be remembered. In the ruins of great cities, in the pages of stolen manuscripts, and in the memories of the descendants, the truth lives on. To know where we are going, we must first know where we came from. So we keep learning, keep questioning, keep sharing stories that were once silenced. Because when the lion writes its story, the world listens.
See, my brothers and sisters, our history as black people never started slavery. We were kings and queens before. So, them who call themselves kings and queens, them copy that from us. A lot of things that they are doing, them copy from us. How to govern a country, how to run a country, them get that from us. Yeah? Them burn many books. Many of our books, them burn. Many of our books also, they kept, but for themselves. That's how them come by so much knowledge. And a great them great. And we them learn from. So when you see them around them country and put certain things into being, don't think that they're so awesome or so brilliant. All that them learn from us, black people. Yes, them learn how to govern, how to run a country from us. Them copy a lot from us. Watch this.
Slavery. That's the place everybody likes to start Negro history. You have ignorant black men being brought over from Africa in chains. Terrible thing, slavery. But this way slavery is taught, it sort of takes the sting out of it. Because the way it's usually taught, people think that we Afro-Americans started with nothing but little grass skirts like the kids in the Tarzan movies. And though America gave us slavery, America kindly gave us religion and a lick or two of education. And when we get more jobs and more education, then up from slavery. But we had something before we left Africa, something more than rhythm. I mean, we had a high culture. Culture was so high that great artists in the world are still borrowing from it. Now here's a sculpture by an unknown African artist. And here's what Paul Klee took from him. Now here's a work by an unknown black African, and Pablo Picasso liked what he saw. Another African design, when Modigliani swiped it, or he was influenced by it, or whatever polite word you want to use. Another black African artist, and Picasso didn't change it very much. I mean, when you look at this copy, you got to give us a little more than rhythm. You got to give us style. Now, if you tell the history of slavery right, you got a big problem on your hands. The slave trader didn't take some savage out of Africa. He took a human being, sold him like an animal, and separated him from his family. America invented the cruelest slavery in the history of the world because it broke up black families. After slavery was over, America kept breaking up the black man's family. And that's some awful history to teach. Now, if you want to look history right straight in the eye, you're going to get a black eye. Because it isn't important whether a few black heroes got lost or stolen or strayed in America's history textbooks. What's important is why they got left out. Now, this country has got a psychological history. There was a master race, there was a slave race. And though there isn't any political slavery anymore, those same old attitudes have hung around. I mean, the burning part of Burn, Baby Burn is right here in this classroom.
The importance of black history, I mean, you just can't measure it, man. Because then, and I think this is why people don't want to serve it, and they don't want to put it out. Because then most people will really realize that we have done something, you know, as a group. When they say we, I include all of us, man. Because, you know, the cat's going to vote for Wallace. He's talking about keeping in their places, see, or keeping his place. He's not talking about everybody except Bill Cosby. No, he's jealous because Bill Cosby's got some bread, too.
Yeah.
He's jealous because Harry Belafonte's got 2 Cadillacs or whatever. And he just assumed that this whole country be all white, you see.
If truth only came from perfect people, we'd never hear it. That's something we have to understand. Bill Cosby's legacy is complicated, but that doesn't mean we should ignore everything he ever said. Back in 1968, he spoke on issues that are still relevant today. How black history was being erased from schools, how politicians used racism to manipulate voters, and how people were being controlled by a system that dictated what they could know and believe. He pointed out how black students weren't being taught their own history, how textbooks ignored black contributions, and how the system made it seem like black people hadn't built anything worth remembering. And here we are, in 2025, still arguing over black history in schools, still seeing books banned, still watching the narrative controlled. The playbook hasn't changed. Cosby also spoke on politics, calling out how bigots weren't just voting for a leader, they were voting for a way of life they wanted to protect. Wallace made his racist intentions clear, and yet, people still supported him. Today, politicians use different words, but the strategy is the same. Keep people divided, keep them controlled. And when Cosby called Nixon a pathological liar, it wasn't just about one man, it was about a system built on deception. So, we can debate Cosby the man, but his message still stands. And if we dismiss it just because of who said it, we risk falling right back into the traps he warned us about.
Well, it's just sad, that's all, man. Because I don't believe any of them. I think they're all lying to everybody.
Yeah.
I think Wallace is lying to the white bigots, and they're out there talking about George is going to do it, because George ain't going to do it.
True.
You know. Now, who was that cat today? I read in the paper. It was the president of the NAACP up in Connecticut, shaking hands with George Wallace. Did you see the picture? This picture of the cat. I forgot his name, man. Shaking hands with George. And I said, well, you know, in Connecticut. Now, what is this all about? When George is talking about he's going to run over us with his car, which is going to be funny to see that, you know.
Definitely.
Because the cat's talking about he's going to be president of the United States of America. And this is the man that the bigots are voting for, see. Now, this shows you how much class bigots have. They're going to vote for a cat who's, say, George is going to just keep them in their place. How? George is going to run over them with his car, man. And I believe he's going to do that, you know, because George is cool, and he will run over them if they give any trouble. Nixon, I think, is a pathological liar. Man's got to say some lie about something somewhere.
12 years. All I've read about are white people, you know. And now we're going to have this course, and this course is 20 weeks long. And you say all you can give us is 1 or 2 books by black authors because you don't think there are any other reputable black authors out there, you know. What is that to tell me, you know? It's the same thing all the other kids are going through in the schools. Because all they're being told is that, well, there's no one else out there that's really writing anything that's literature. They're writing a whole lot of garbage. You know?
Sure.
So, you see, my friends, A lot was copied from us. A lot. Enough things we don't see. Enough things we don't know. Enough things we don't hear about. Them have a lot of stolen information. And also, a lot of information was burnt, like I say. So my black brothers and my black sisters, just know sound great. Don't feel inferior to no other race, because you are not inferior. You are not inferior to any other race. So don't feel inferior. Don't ever feel inferior. And don't act inferior. Unite with each other. Support each other. Build yourself and build each other. And that, my friend, is willpower indeed.